Hi friends, very good evening everybody. So thank you for joining. So the sessions are going so wonderful. Every day, we are learning a new concept on this no death wisdom sharings. And yesterday was a wonderful session by Nageshji. And today we have another guest. I just wanted to share one small, experience here. So I got to know about this masters from Leicester in the UK. So I happened to meet them in one of the session. They came for the first time, and they said that they learned meditation through a YouTube channel, and they have a yoga center. Some of you may know. They are Vasanji and Nirmalaji. They have a very named yoga center, and they said that we play this YouTube channel throughout the day from morning to evening, and we make people whoever come to our yoga center to watch that channel. So that channel is PMC Hindi. So their guru is PMC Hindi channel. So I was so surprised that the reach of this pyramid meditation channel Hindi throughout the world. And I was surprised, and they came for the first time to our session in Coventry, and they told this. So now today we have the what we call Karta, Karma, and Kriya of PMC Hindi channel, Amulya Shastri, an esteemed facilitator, a musician, and chief operating officer of the PMC Hindi channel, which is 24/7 YouTube channel and also a satellite meditation channel. So in the year when I think 2020, just after first wave of Corona, COVID, I saw they just started, and it was there were like about 20K subscribers. Within 2 or 3 months, I saw like there's so many wonderful wisdom sharings are happening, experiences are happening, and then I used to follow that. And within 2 to 3 months, it became 90K, and then within 1 year, 100K, 200K, 300K. See the work, the amazing work as done by PMC Hindi channel. This wonderful team, and Amulya Shastri, not just she alone, but entire family, whole family, father, mother, and sister, everybody is into this. They have put their whole and soul into this PMC in the channel, and they made it so big. Now across the world, so many people, they are learning meditation just from the channel. And whoever, like anybody who speaks Hindi, if they ask about how to learn meditation, there's a beautiful video in this PMC in the channel, and I just shared that. That's it. They just learn everything. PMC Hindi becomes their first guru for many of the people who are Hindi speaking people. So such a wonderful creation, great contribution to PSSM, and the complete family is into meditation. Uh, when one other thing is when she was doing masters, where in the college nobody knows about spirituality. Everybody is into partying and all whatnot. In college days, what happens? And she was like. Uh, she couldn't find anybody into who talks about spirituality, and she called Patriji. And when Patriji said that you are not there to find people like you are there to create the people like you. Since then, she's like passionately spreading meditation to everyone, introducing this meditation is many young and old uh, to this path of meditation. And she believes that uh, anybody can travel from this alpha state to omega state simply through this anapanasati meditation. I'm sure all of you know that these basics of one of the states, alpha state, beta state, theta, and she not only kind of you know learned that, achieved that, and also helping others to reach to that consciousness. So she will be
quite a long introduction. There's nothing. We're just doing work that we know. That's all. We're meant to do that. That's all.
yeah, but you're so inspiring, and I'm so fortunate to spend some time with entire family in the year 2020 during Dhanama Chakra. Amazing, amazing family, great work. Thank you for all your contribution. And believe me, so many people who are following PMC Hindi here, because there are many Hindi-speaking people in this country. And welcome to PSSM UK platform, and the platform is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ravi sir. It's a quite an elaborate introduction. We're here just doing the work, and we're very happy that a lot of people are into meditation. That's our work, right? That
Yes,
more people are into meditation, no matter what that video is, what experience sharing it is, whatever it is. So today's purpose is to share yet another experience that we all have, and it's meant to happen for all of us. So we can make it interactive. You can ask me any question, relate to it, rather than being a one way communication. You can, if whatever you have as a question, through and through. Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And actually, about Ravi sir, he's done a lot of work. He's actually a very funny guy. I got to know that in the Anma Chakram of he's being actually a very funny person. He looks quite serious, but he's actually not that serious. Looks at quite deceptive. And that's what spirituality is, right? That
Yeah.
that you're as as enjoyable, as effortless as you can be. Yeah. And his family is doing great work. His wife is doing great work. His kid is adorable. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Amulya. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Over to you.
Yeah. So that's it. And I think one other great, I would say, I know it's your modesty that, you think that it's a, primary work and you just do it effortlessly and seamlessly. But conducting Mahayog Dhyan Kumbh in Rishikesh and Haridwar, it's one of the very big event, right? So in the PSSM history, so the Mahayog Kumbh are like a great events in North India, and a lot of meditation spreading is happening in North India because of you guys have started. So thank you. That's it. And then yeah, you start now. Yeah.
Okay. So there's no gyan without experience. The gyan starts first with experience. So since the objective of this series is to share how essentially enlightenment happens when you realize this basic truth, so-called basic truth, which seems very normal, but you don't, and no one accepts that this truth will ever happen to them. And that, my friends, is called death. The fact that we're talking about death so happily, conversationally, I love it. Because I remember when we opened up this conversation, obviously Patriji has the day one when Patri sir talks. The first thing he talks about is death. And I remember in 2009 when I started meditation, I used to really wonder, out of all the things in life to talk about, you talk about death. Death is amazing. Death happens to everyone. Everyone is meant to die. Like how Buddha's statement where Rai ka dana or must find a mustard seed uh, from a household where death does not happen. And obviously that lady does not come with any mustard seed. And that's what Buddha is trying to say, that this is one truth that happens in every household. So essentially, yeah, 2009 was when I started meditation, and I was exposed to this truth. because we know of it, but until we are really shown it, we don't believe it. And yes, everywhere, every single guru master used to, I've lot of swadhyay, listening to people's experiences, shravanam, and Sajjan Sangatya, knowing more experiences, and everyone used to share about death bhi ho sakta hai, it's enlightenment. Normally, I used to listen to all these experiences with a pinch of salt, be like, yes, great, very nice, great experience. Where everyone's going through it, yes, you listen to it. Probably while they're sharing the death experience, they either cry or they're very happy. We used to observe, being like, okay, 1 second, why are they really happy about death? Isn't this a sad affair? It's the most saddest thing in life when the people you love are not there with you. That's the saddest thing to talk about. That's why you see movies when people die. It's quite sad, isn't it? And that's when a tear drops. That's when you that's when paisa vasool happens for a film, when you are crying and you're so emotional in it. And essentially that's what we have known of death. I'm covering the first part is essentially what is our idea of death? Where does this, how do you act or react when a death happens? So I remember when my dad's father vacated his body in 2003 or 4. And I remember very, very happy going. If you know Mr. Shastri, he's the most happy going person. And when I was young, I was in second, third, fourth standard. And obviously, again, very jolly, good fellow. And his father used to live in Vizag. And when we got to know the news, we lived in Bombay or Delhi at that point in time. And then we went to Vizag. And I remember we packed our bags. There was no emotion as such on my father's face. But when we reached Vizag, touched down, we went closer to the house again. In the car itself, he was nice and happy and smiling and normal, so to say normal. But I remember this is my visual as a child, okay? So because this is all conditioning we have from time to time. So the visual that I have in front of me, imagine this scene where he gets off the car, he has a bag in his left hand. He sees in a courtyard his father's body is kept, and everyone's in white clothes, Brahmin household, like women not wearing a blouse, and these are all the visuals that's happening. My grandmother is not in the scene; she's absolutely away. Everyone is crying, like they're so loudly crying. Where the neighborhood was silent, but the moment you go closer to the home, it's everyone is like weeping loudly. And I see my father, so there's a visual, right? He's the one who first gets off the car, and I get off later, and my sister and my mom get down later, and he goes towards the body, and then he leaves his bag, and he starts howling when he sees his father. And for me as a child, that was the impression in my head. It's like kachak. So when a person of that much close in nature, the relationship, that's how you're supposed to cry, because you have known this being all your life, and when that being is not there in your life, there is a void. You feel alone, you feel sad, you feel lonely, you feel like you've lost something big. Where say he never lived in the same city as his father, but all the emotions erupt forced. I would even say, like, you would forcefully remember situations, be like, oh, he helped me so much. Then guilt comes, then a fear comes, all those emotions. So for me, as that was the fixed thing, that yes, that is how you need to behave. So through the process, yes, my grandfather, my mom's father passed away through this process. My mama, which is essentially my mom's elder brother's wife, she passed away. So my cousin brother essentially is living, had no mom. And these are all series of events that passed. You've seen people pass away around you. And as such, because they're not that close, but very close, not that close, how close as father close. And yes, you experience it. Yes, you feel strong, and this too shall pass, right? So yes, and through the process, I was getting into spirituality 2009. I was listening to Patriji through and through. And every Dhyanma Chakram event, which is essentially a 11-day festival that happens in December, sir would start with there is no death. And I just wonder, is there anything better to talk about in life than just talk about this? Like, this man has nothing else to talk about in life. But I'm like, ठीक है, enlightened man होगा कुछ, मतलब these guys philosophers बात करते होंगे, मतलब yeah, let's listen to it. So do understand the power of listening. That's why listening to experiences is so important. Every single person must listen to this No Death series, because that is my, what, so to say, when practically that happened to me, 13 years of essentially listening to people, listening to wisdom, listening to experiences, came to a point when that reality happened to me. I was so accepting, and I'll take you through how and what happened. So every single time, like, he would talk about death, I used to listen to people's experiences about death. And yes, yeah, matlab, it's a fact, right? You write a notebook, be like, okay, there is no death. There is, and I would sing because I'm a singer. So there, Patri sir always used to be like, whenever there's death, he would ask me, Nana Tipratuku, you should sing this song. This is Annamacharya, is a philosopher, a saint. He is a music composer. So there's a song called Nanati Brataku Nataku. Like, life is a drama. I used to listen to William Shakespeare's All the World is a Stage. It's all nice poetry and all that stuff. So yeah, it's great to listen to. I would say All the World is a Stage. We're all mere actors and all of that. So I used to live my normal life. As a student, I started meditation in 2009. So I was about 9th or 10th standard. I did college life. I had a job. Then I went into masters. Then I was parallelly music also. I was going through my own journey of finding myself. Then I had dance. So I used to teach dance. Then there's a phase of me essentially leaving music also. Okay, I don't think I can connect with music. All of this is happening simultaneously, like for the ripening of myself. I was going through a lot of ups and downs in my life, and all not as major as the current one that's going to come up in a few minutes. About my father obviously has been a very, very important pillar. I've always been taught to be like, as effortless, as joyful in life. And I don't even remember my father as a person who's ever told me to do something. No matter what decision I made, he would first of all let me make my own decisions, and being a friend through the process. So this character called Shastri, or aka Dad picture, through spirituality, from being in 2009, being like probably, I would say, a father figure, it started to become a friend. And around, I remember when PMC started, that's about, essentially, we have been doing Dhyan Prachar since a very long time. Essentially, North India, there were very less people who were into it. Maybe they were very senior in it also, but they were not essentially active. Essentially, active movement. Many people are into meditation. Many people, very senior people, are there, but essentially they're not active into the movement. So we never had anyone to look up to, be like, oh my God, they're doing so much work. So we were in the end he's in his own corporate life. My mom is going through her own thing. My sister is exploring herself. Essentially, she was actually a big rebel into spirituality. It's what you see right now is God Alikhya. She was not like this before. And that they want to work and prachar she's doing right now, and her dedication to spirituality. I was actually quite confused. Probably if you would ask me 7 years ago, if the same thing, I'd be like, okay, is she really doing this? Why is she doing this? Oh my God, is she even doing this? She's actually quite a rebel. She believed we are in a cult, and sworn away by Guruji Dadiwala. And now she's like what you can see. So do believe, if anyone has kids who are not into meditation and spirituality, know that there will be a time they'll come into spirituality. Why I'm sharing all of these things, I could just jump into the topic, but knowing where you come from really matters, because we all have our own backgrounds. knowing the background and how you get there through spirituality. That's why there's so much importance given to Swadhyay and Gyan and Shravanam, listening to experiences. Because when you listen, you create that wisdom, find a place for that wisdom in yourself, and it activates, it works when it needs to. So yes, so she was exploring herself, my mother was exploring herself, we were into prachar work, spreading meditation. So for me, the idea, okay, see, this is again your belief systems, right? Essentially, why do we feel we don't have enough? Probably, why do we believe PMC UK is not abundant? It doesn't matter. Does it matter you have 10,000, 3 lakh subscribers? Is that our idea of abundance? Is 3 million our idea of abundance? What is our idea? And do know that for me, for example, for me, I believed that those people who are doing spirituality, what is your belief system? My belief system was those who are into spirituality, nothing happens to them. So I had, my idea was, see, Mr. Shastri, he's doing so much work. He's so close to Patriji. This again, see, all your mastery and all is on one side. But your belief system, even when you say you're all third eye masters and stuff, actually a lot of third eye masters are so, are they working on their belief system? Is a question. Like, I'm a third eye master, but I do know that what I see, you have to not always say things because you see it. It could also be functioning from your limiting belief system. So my limiting belief system was, when people are close to Patriji, they essentially, because we had the biggest Rishikesh project coming in, where we're working with the government to take a huge land in Rishikesh and build a pyramid in a huge property. So that is all happening, sanctioning. So I believed, that's my belief system, that you know what, people who are close to Patriji are don't go anywhere. So no matter what happens around them, this is my belief system. Now cut to, this is all acting simultaneously, okay? So this is, no matter what you see with your eyes, your belief system is like, no, that's not going to happen, because, he will stay. So now this is around COVID time, when obviously there was lockdown time happening. And obviously he didn't have COVID, but he went through a 10 days period of, my father went through a very 10 days period of deterioration of health. And obviously, what will you say about deterioration of health? Because we don't take any medicines. And we know that our solution to all of our problems is meditation. So we've never gone to doctors for the past 13 years. And no matter, even if, for example, anyone in our family, 4 of us have like chikungunya, fever, upper respiratory throat infection, thyroid, blood clots in his brain, no matter how severe the issue, we solved our every single problem through rigorous amount of meditation underneath the pyramid and working on our belief patterns and systems. So that has been our basic way of dealing with any physical ailment. So when he went through this period also, he did rigorous amount of meditation. And I remember, but still we started to see a lot of deterioration in his health. And simultaneously, PMC Hindi is growing, because we took an office when COVID, when people are shutting down offices, we open up an office. And we essentially had like 3 tables, and that's in the whole office. We just had 3 tables, and we built a studio. And obviously I used to shoot, edit, contact masters, and essentially run the channel. First, essentially, we're running it from home. But Patri sir has always guided that, no, you need to take a space, not a space, you need to take a big space, think abundant. So like that, we're simultaneously growing PMC Hindi, because essentially that's obviously not running a YouTube channel. This is a satellite channel, it's the larger vision Patri sir used to show us. So while that is happening, this deterioration in health started for Mr. Shastri. And slowly, obviously, my mom runs the Pyramid Dhyan Jagat Hindi magazine. And she's not leaving her Hindi magazine work. She's like, I don't care about this man. My magazine has to run. So we are quite selfish people in general. So I was working in the office because I'm like, the video has to be edited. This has to reach people. So I remember there was a Sikh guru called Ravidas, Sant Ravidas. And an edit has to go because I'm like, oh no, we have shot this. We have to, this message has to reach the world. And I'm in that thing, and I'm like, I'll edit the videos in the office. That is happening simultaneously. My mom is just in one corner while my dad is finding it difficult to breathe in one room. My mom's like, yeah, it's fine. Do you want something to eat? He's like, okay, yes, need something. And then she would get back to a magazine. So there is no care. Okay, they'll heal themselves. So but somehow Alekhya's got an intuition. Me like, no, I've got to stay. I need to take care of this guy called Shastri. And then she used to take care. Then slowly closer to like, this is physical science. And, you see that obviously my father has been meditating since a long time. So you see that, the body starts, there's no fight to live, he's slowly you see like a slight change in his approach to life. First, he would fight to live. Now he's just like, there's a lesser care. And when mom had called Patri sir, obviously we never told, we like what to tell other masters. There's nothing to tell. So essentially my dad switched off his phone. And obviously, what will we talk? Obviously, none of my dad has three sisters. And what do we tell them? Like, okay, he's going through, they'll be like, go to the doctor. We're like, but what do we tell? His sisters are not into meditation, were not into meditation. And that is happening. We're just witnessing what is happening to the body. So we're not doing anything about it. So yes, as a duty, we're like, okay, do you want to go to the doctor? And he gives the look being like, you're serious? At this point in time, you're asking me to, like, the face, the expressions on his face were just like, are you serious? Because as duty bound, we're just like, okay, we should ask, because maybe we shouldn't take it for granted. So we asked dad that, do you want to go to the doctor? And he's like, no. And we're like, okay, acupressure, acupuncture, natural things, naturopathy. And then he's looking, he's like, we had Dr. S. Ranjan, who is a medical doctor in Delhi, who's also a meditator. He would come and he had put probably those things, acupressure needles and stuff, and or patches. And then I remember when we would turn around, dad didn't have the strength to even move things. He would take the patch out of him. We put naturopathy remedies like patta and all on his chest. And then by the time we turned around, he would take that out. So he was essentially rejecting anything external because he accepted. Slowly, but obviously, again, this belief system that I explained about, right? I was like, no, that's not going to happen. There's so much work to be done. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I was like, no, man, this is all like a drama that's happening. Let's not take it too seriously. Let's not go too deep. This too shall pass and he'll come back, because there's a lot of work to do. We have like a channel to run. And there's so many pyramids to be built across India, and Mahayog Dhyanukumar should be taken next level. So all of these thought processes, belief systems on one side. And again, see how you also, this is one of the many learnings. And the other learning is like being a third eye master, how I used to interpret my third eye visions. So see, mentally, I was like my belief system, right? I believed that he's going to stay. So even the third eye visions I used to see while I used to sit in meditation, I would see like I had seen a chingari. If you know what a chingari is, like fire sparks. When I was sitting in meditation, I saw that fire sparks. I saw that it was entering him. So I'm like, because there was we're going through a lot of tough time at that time, because when you're trying to set up something, everything is not conducive to that change always. So we were going through our own set of inner turmoil, inner abundance, expansion. We're trying to tell people, convince people, this is the larger vision. So we're going through things. So for me, what is my belief system? That, we're going through so many changes. So maybe higher masters must be giving him energy from other lokas, other lok. So that's why that chingari or that fire spark is entering him. And this is about 3 days before he vacated his body. And that was my interpretation. And then I was like, Mom, listen, this is what I interpreted. But actually, when he vacated is when I actually saw the complete thing, because I didn't choose to see it. So that's why after he vacated, that's when I very clearly saw that the chingari was not entering him. It was actually leaving him. So 3 days before, he was already left his body. So he was partially here and then partially gone. And slowly, I remember intuitively, we felt, we should do a concert for Dad. So Abhishek, who is my husband, he plays the mridangam. So mridangam is like dholak or, South Indian classical percussion instrument. So he would play that. I would sing, and Mom plays the veena. So we had like a concert. And still, see, while even that was happening, in back of my head, I was like, this is also like a temporary thing. I know he's going to come back. Again, see, that's how, even being a meditator, how much acceptance do we really have of the situation? What we think and when that situation happens to you, how you believe. But somehow that balance is because of this wisdom that I've been collecting since the start. And I remember about a month and a half, 2 months, when my dad, Alekhya, and me were traveling to Hyderabad for a meeting with Datla Hanumant Raju sir. And I remember my father, we were sitting in a car going to the airport. And in the front row, just next to the driver, my dad was sitting. And in the back, I was sitting with Alekhya. And my dad looked back at that point and he said, I have this feeling, it seems like I'm taking my guru to like a procession. There's a procession happening and I'm having this feeling like I'm taking my guru somewhere. And I and Alekhya listening to him like, okay, possibly it could be a past life or something. Maybe that's why you're feeling it. But great, nice to know. We're just like, okay, great. But we never did anything about it. And that's when we got to actually like closer to the date of his body vacating, that we actually realized that, on the last day when I was in PMC in the office, Alekhya was at home and Mom was at home. And around 6 o'clock or so, when he essentially left his body, when there was like a loud gasp, and they are just like, okay, is this like Mom is on one side and Alekhya is on one side, and I'm in office, by the way. They're telling me that, like he took a loud gasp, like he left his body, and then again he came back. And then because my father is actually a mono actor, so we're thinking, okay, he's doing a lot of drama now. Matlab, this is a lot of drama. You don't, and we're joking. We are all joking in the process. They both are joking. Me like, कितना ड्रामेबाज आदमी है. मतलब ये भी, even death also he is making it such a big drama. Just come back, bhai, बहुत हो गया करके. That's what the joke was happening. And 2-3 days before, Mom had called Patri ji, and Patri sir had very clearly said that be brave. So that was a hint that Mom already got, that okay, there's something going to happen which I need to be mentally ready for. So he said be brave. And essentially the last day, when at around 6 o'clock when he vacated, and then he came back, and then Alekhya had called me, and then she said, you know what, Amulya, you have to come quickly. And I'm like, I'll come, no problem. Because this has been running since like 6-7 days, right? I'm like, I'll come, no problem, I'll come. And still there was a video that I need to edit. I was like, I'll come. And I pushed even for extra 1 hour. She's like, no, you come right now. And it was a very stern voice. Because obviously on the call, she can't say all these things. She said, when I come, she'll explain to me. So I was like, yeah, I'll come. And about half an hour or 1 hour later, I came home. And then I'm seeing this situation when my dad's in the room. Alekhya and Mom are just like, okay, what do we do? And he's taking really loud gasps. And I entered the room and I told Alekhya and Mom, you go eat food. I'm not very hungry. You guys go and eat. I'll spend some time with Dad. And at that point, my dad's taking really deep breaths. He's not eating anything. Essentially liquids, like soups kind of things he was on. And I looked at him and somehow I had this in feeling that I should talk to him. And I was telling all things that I was trying to tell him were like, Nana, like even Sai, who is like my muh bola bhai, he also takes care of tech in PMC Hindi. He is his family is also into spirituality in Hyderabad. So I was telling him that, oh, Sai is also come. He really wanted Sai to come to Delhi because I know he had this intuition that, he should work here. And Sai also got the intuition that he should come here. And right when lockdown happened, he stayed in Delhi. So it seemed very orchestrated. And I'm telling him that, what, this, and I'm holding his hand, and he's in this position. He's not looking eye to eye. This essentially he's taking really deep breaths. It's very tough to talk to him. And I was telling him, Dad, Sai is here. There's so much work to do. We've just taken an office. There's a lot of work. बहुत time pass करा रहे हो आप. So I was telling him things that essentially would make him stay. Because again, the belief system, right? That you are essentially saying things that make him stay. So I'm like, what, Nana, you should. And this is essentially, I spoke only possibly for 20 to 25 seconds. And immediately my gyan that I had collected through the years suddenly came. 1 second. Am I telling a Gyani, a Brahma Gyani, things that he needs to stay? Does he not know this already? Obviously, who am I? Who are we to tell someone else to stay or leave? It's a decision you make, right? When I come to your house, when I've entered the Zoom meeting, there is a decision we've made, right? After 1.5 hours, this meeting room will close. You can't stay here forever. So that sort of thing kicked in me, being like, okay, immediately. And I'm so happy that the fact that I'm not trying to be spiritual, trying to be spiritual is like, no, you have to not cry. You have to think like this universe. This is a lot of spirituality is not accepting the truth also. So I really want to take this meeting to share this thing that please don't be over spiritual. Over spiritual essentially means what you see in front of you, don't accept it, and you try to act like you're not a human. No, I'm human. I felt that emotion, but the wisdom kicks in. And when the wisdom kicked in, that was essentially in 25 seconds. And I said, no, Nana, if you really want to stay, you stay. If you really want to go, you go. We're here with you. We're your friends. And just by saying that statement, when he was not meeting eye to eye, he looks up eye to eye. He takes a deep breath and then he leaves the body. That's it. And obviously we have only seen movies where death happens. I have not seen it physically and in my own hands. So I'm like, okay, am I supposed to do something? And then which is okay, that you have to check the heartbeat, you have to check the pulse. And I'm calling Alekhya and mom me like, jaldi aao, see. And at that point in time, somehow someone's intuition kicked in and they called in Dr. S. Ranjan to come in to, how do you declare a body is there if the person's there or not there? So essentially Dr. S. Ranjan also played a very crucial role to declare. And yeah, so we're witnessing what is happening around and when we just like, okay, he's not there. And some brief point, master said, what, Paramahamsa Yogananda also came back in his body, his guru, if you've read Yogananda Paramahamsa. So he came back into his body after body vacation. Some master also brought that up, being like, what, possibly he'll come back. And we're all witnessing what is happening. We're like, okay, is he going to come back? Is this going to be a miracle? Is this something going to happen? But obviously we accepted the truth. There was no crying as such, but we're just like, okay, yeah, man, he's done a great job. We accept whatever he's chosen for himself. And then at that point, I ended up calling Patriji. And obviously sir knew. So, and he said, hi, can I speak to Patri sir? And then he's like, hi, yeah, this is me. And then I said, hi, sir, Shastri ji is not breathing anymore. And he says, be with nature, Baba. Patri sir says. And he said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'm like, are you serious? This is a big thing that's happening. And he's like, he'll talk tomorrow. So in my head, I'm just like, seriously, this is the amount of work he's done and how much seconds you spend. This is the thought, okay, in my head. And immediately my mind switches and be like, yes, sir. Yes, cool, sir. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And I really like the fact that a real emotion kicks in. That is very, very important. The emotion that actually kicks in, you must accept it. You can't act over spiritually. Oh, my Guruji has told me this. No. The real emotion is, hello, my father has just died. And this man is saying, be with nature. The real emotion that kicks in and you're like, okay, what a weird person. Why would he do that? That's the first emotion. And immediately, 1, 2, 3 seconds later, I was just like, yes, sir. So I'm really happy that when you're real with the truth, you accept yourself, what you're going through. And when that happens to you, you let the truth also kick in. If you know, understand what I mean. You have to be real with the emotion. Like, you can't be like, no, I'm spiritual, I can't cry. No. If you're feeling like it, if that emotion is kicking in, you must be true to that emotion, whatever that emotion is. So my father essentially vacated his body at 9:30 or so. And obviously during that lockdown period, we could not take the body for cremation. So the next morning is when we had to take him to burn his body. So all night, a lot of meditators were obviously no family, because thankfully COVID, there's no family, only meditators who came. So there was no putting white thing, no white cloth. So we wanted to, like, first of all, none of us believe in it. And why such treatment to a person who has done so much work? So we essentially did not, we put just AC in the room, so that obviously the body is fresh, and we just meditated around his body. We kept him in his own normal bed sheet, let him be the way he is. And we were just like, wow, man, his face is glowing more than ever. And obviously there's no medicine, so there's no deterioration. And all night we were meditating. And next morning at around 6 o'clock, we had a call from Shalini, and she's like, okay, so Pati sir is asking you to join the Zoom. And the same day is this, dad always wanted this program that's running on, called Master Bano on PMC Hindi. It's essentially an online program where we're teaching Anapanasati meditation, 40 days meditation, 21 days meditation. Previously, it was called Buddha Bano. And that was the day one of Buddha Bano when Dr. Karthikeyan sir joins. Obviously, we can't, and he's very close to my dad. And we couldn't tell him, because if we did, then that whole Buddha Bano would be all about him, my dad. So then we didn't want that to happen. Obviously, the focus should be Anapanasati. We didn't tell him, or Nalini ji, who was anchoring at that point. And we said, okay, you know what, let's just, we acted like nothing happened. And after Buddha Bano finished, simultaneously, Enlightenment Hour was happening in Pyramid Valley International. And that's where sir was saying, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning, is essentially this platform. And yeah, so we joined, and sir was sharing the concept of alpha to omega. And like, you can, if you want to know what happened, you can actually just type Shastri ji death. You'll find that video where why you can see, when you go see that video, simultaneously my dad's body is in the room. And because we had to wait till 9 o'clock in the morning for this body to be burned. And in another room we are sitting and having this conversation with Patri sir, where he's talking about this concept of alpha to omega. And we're just like, hi sir, great job, well done, Shastri ji. That concept we are talking about, we have that happening simultaneously while you're talking, and we're really enjoying it. A job well done. And yeah, so there's so many real emotions. We're so proud the fact that when a person is actually listening to Shravanam, listening to experiences, learning the concept, doing Swadhyaya, listening to spiritual science, when that truth happens to them, it is so elated, because you're not in dukkha. We were not in dukkha when my father vacated his body. We are not in sadness. We are in a state of acceptance that yes, like I shared, you're entering this meeting room. You should enter the meeting room knowing that you are going to leave this meeting room eventually. The fact that we are so attached to the people around us that we're not able to accept that we're all here for a limited period of time. So don't be carried away. And because we have ardently, sincerely listening to this wisdom, and when that happened to us, we're so happy. So I remember that enlightenment hour went very long when Sir first heard Alekhya's experience and my experience, then mom's experience, and I sang a song in that state. And we're like, yes, sir, thank you so much for this wisdom. Every single person who is in this sadness can actually come out of that dukkha. So many people are into suicidal tendencies. So many people are into depression because so many years of suffering, not able to accept this truth. Simple truth: there is death, and there is no death. Both are simultaneously happening. That's the spirituality is a paradox. There is death, but there is no death. Yes, there is a death of the body, but there is no death of the Atma. Essentially, what is Bhagavad Gita talking about? We read it as a scripture, as a granth. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, very important. But when that happens to you, are we able to live that truth? So I remember when we sang, like this whole enlightenment hour went on till 12 o'clock. I'll tell you, you'll see the video. I'll tell you what was happening simultaneously. At around 9 o'clock, 9:30, I'm end up, every master joins. So we are only calling these masters. Sir is saying, okay, I want this person to join. And obviously that person's not in the meeting. So I and I or Alekhya are calling up this person. We're like, hi, sorry, just need to tell you my father just vacated his body. Patriji wants you to join the Zoom. Can you please join the Zoom? Okay, here's the Zoom link details. And then we would cut the call. And this was like literally sir training us, being like, okay, now lesson. First lesson was experiencing death of your father. Next experience is telling other people about this death of your father. And now let me see how much emotion you have on your face. So we're calling up people and we're like, hi sir, yes, Shastri is no more. So we'll talk about the details later. Please join the Zoom meeting right now. So that was what is happening. You can hear when you see the video, you will get to understand. At around 9 or 9:30, so obviously many people were joining in and sharing their experiences with dad, and they would leave the meeting like that. So around 9 or 9:30, I had messaged Shalini, being like, hey Shalini, sorry, but we need to take Shastri ji and burn his body. So don't mind, we'll join from our phone. So then we prepare like this ambulance and take him to the Shamshan, and which is close to our house. And so essentially we're just 5 people, me, Alekhya, my husband, Alekhya's husband, my cousin brother, Sai, essentially 5, 6, 7 people. So we take dad, and we're essentially outside the Shamshan. So we decided no flowers, no puja guy, no white cloth, no white cotton, nothing. Why such a treatment for a body? Such sad treatment. A banda celebrated his life, and then while he's leaving, we make it so sad. When it's actually it's actually just like a graduation ceremony for a person. Essentially, isn't it? It's like a graduation ceremony. We celebrate graduation, but death, we make it so sad. So we had our notion in our head. So we made sure that this man we have full control over. We will not do this over display of death, sad display of death. So we entered, and there was no, and people are entering because that time COVID is happening. So there are 2 options: either you burn the body or you send for electrocution. And we're like, oh, electrocution is quite sad. And then I remember we put dad's body at a waiting area because we had to wait for our time to go burn the body. And we're seeing people all cranky and we're laughing, and we're like, okay, Zoom call, we need to now call more people. So we had the Zoom call happening simultaneously. So that Zoom call ran from morning 6 o'clock to afternoon 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock. We're asking people to join. That's also happening simultaneously and waiting for our turn. And we're laughing, being like, oh God, matlab, this guy his body, he's not even in his body. Shastri is not in his body. We just have the body right here. We're laughing, be like, हाँ, कितना मस्त आदमी है. He's giving us so much work to do. We have to go burn the body, and then, you know, so mom didn't come. Mom's like, I don't care about all this stuff. I'll make palau. So she was cooking palau for with another auntie. She's cooking palau. So when you guys come, then we'll have nice palau. So we take his body to go burning it, and then we place the. So essentially, me and Alekhya burnt dad's body, and that obviously when you're getting the body burnt, that pujari is like, they give you a pujari essentially because you've paid money, and we were just like, we were not listening to him. So he was very irritated with us. I remember these are all the visuals that's happening. And we are like, no, we'll sing Dhyani anthem. So we went and took 7 rounds because the pujari told us, otherwise we would do just 1 round. It's all belief system. What will happen? There's no upshagun. There is no good. There's no bad. So we're just like, okay, there are sentiments. Let's just solve those sentiments of that pujari. But obviously, we sang Dhyani anthem. We all did like me and Alekhya burnt his body, and we came out of the thing. We like, great job, well done. We reached home, had pulao, laughed a lot. And by the next day, we joined back office, PMC Hindi. So that's essentially what their death experience is. When, yeah, it doesn't mean that you become heartless when you're into meditation, spirituality. When you say there is no death, does not mean there is no death. There is death. Yes, you do feel like, हाँ यार, it's easier. Obviously, he's the breadwinner in the family. Me and Alekhya left our corporate jobs. Mom obviously is not working. So yeah, in the start, you get a big jolt being like, okay, there is no money coming from anywhere because we left our jobs. So, okay, the first thought is, okay, where is money going to come from? But then like, how does it matter if we're working for a larger purpose? So you're taken care of at the end of the day. That's the first surrender thought that came. And yes, do you feel a little bit void in your day-to-day life? Yes. In the starting, yes, definitely. I was like, okay, such a selfish man. He just freaking chose and he left. But from the other hand, you're like, yes, when even Patriji vacated his body. So the kind of signs I was seeing in Patri sir, in the year itself, I remember he got me married. Patriji made sure I think I'm the last marriage in PSSM that Patriji conducted. And yeah, so matlab, what I saw as signs in Patriji when he vacated his body, yeah, so I knew like sir is not going to be in his body. So we had experienced sir's presence in Ladakh. We took sir to Ladakh when everyone was against it because sir wanted to go to Ladakh. So Delhi, Ladakh, Chandigarh, yes. So you've seen even Patri sir's vacation and how he communicates through different ways, because everything is determined. You come with a limited period offer, and essentially, yes, it's how you one is knowing the truth and the other is living the truth. Everyone knows there is no death. All scriptures say it. But the game is actually living that truth. And living that truth, when a so-called harsh truth as death happens to you, is when the test happens. We're all quite enlightened people in general. I'm sure this meeting room has 33 enlightened people. But when something severe, or so to say, that is out of your expectation happens, how do you react? How do you behave? Is the name of the game. So I'm just a representation or a reminder for the other person in the room that yes, it'll happen to any of us, but the game that we have to play here is witnessing it and not being involved in it, which takes time. But listen to a lot of Patriji videos. Number one, how do you live effortlessly is first listen so much that from all corners, there are many ways of saying the same truth. I'm sure so many philosophers have or spiritual scientists, gurus have spoken about death. Osho has spoken about death. Ramtha have spoken about death, essentially. But you must listen to experiences a lot and wisdom, number one. And number two is real life experiences like these. You must listen to it again and again, not just once. You should keep listening to it. Because we are all mirrors for each other. So yeah, that's my story in this lifetime, on how I experienced death of my father and Patriji's, so to say, death, but there is no death. And yeah, the fact that you have created such, and I remember when my father vacated his body to 2021, in 2022 he created a show, Mrityu, where there's no show like this on any television channel. And I spoke to Hitesh Vashisht, who's a master in Delhi and a master of QLU, where we created a series where we share stories of people who have vacated their bodies, whose families or family members have vacated their body, and also wisdom of how to understand, how to see death straight in the eye from one hand. And so yeah, that did really well and got a lot of people out of this suffering that we go through. And many people had suicidal tendencies, many people had depression, so many comments, so many people came out of it. So when you share, like me sharing example is so many people who are stuck somewhere are able to come out of it. So yeah, that's after death happened to me, I opened up the truth. Maybe possibly if death never happened to me in my family, I don't think I would have come up with a television show called Mrityu, which came in my meditation. That no, this show has to come. And the name is not going to be anything but Mrityu. Will not put any other name. Say it as it is, straight in the face. Face it as it is. Let's not call it anything else. So Mrityu, Ant Bhi, Arambh Bhi is the name of the show. So yeah, and we're coming up with season 2. So all people who have had great Mrityu experiences of their family members and also near-death experience. I've also had a near-death experience, by the way. So a year and a half after my father vacated his body, I had my own near-death experience where I went and I came back. And yeah, so there is literally life is really a play right now. And yeah, we are so limited, we're in such a limited period offer. So just enjoy what's in front of you. You're not here forever. Just do your part and depart. Where are you stuck? What subscribers, what views, what achievements, what money? It doesn't mean you're not living with it, but you should not be stuck with it. You should come out of it. So that's, yes, I've had my near-death experience also. And yeah, a day, I was in about 8 to 9 hours, I was in sort of a coma state. And no medicines, no doctor, just in my house. And I came back. So that's it. Thank you. Any questions?
What can we say? Just to witness amazing and the most profound truth, explained through this real life experience. And by living it, you lived the truth, and you are sharing the truth here with us. Patriji always says birth is a celebration and death is a celebration, and you have shown us how to celebrate the death. Birthday, birth anyway, everybody will celebrate. And Shastriji is an awakened soul. And then you rightly said, who are we to ask someone to stay here or leave, and that too, an awakened person. And And while this is happening, you guys are all, you know, doing the karma, whatever the karma you are supposed to do, the action. You know, as you rightly said, when you know, Shastri ji vacated, how we are going to, you know, how the money is going to flow in. So this, you know, I recall one statement: those who lose them in the action, not expecting any fruits, they keep on doing it, and they are under the protection of the God, or under the protection of the nature, universe, whatever you call it as. And nicely, you know, you have explained all the real life experience, and respecting the emotions, addressing the emotions, not to wear any kind of spiritual marks. So I am so positive, I should not be doing that, should not be doing this. So it's the greatest learnings in this session in a most practical way. Thank you for this, you know, wonderful session. um, for those, you know, she was talking about the video, go through this video. I took the video from the PMC channel. Thank you, Amulya. Yeah, I just opened the platform for others to talk. Yeah.
Hi, Amulya. So wonderful session. And so you have emphasized more about importance of listening, and also not to be over spiritual. And you explained about the conditioning, how the childhood conditioning happens in our childhood. Like whenever we see the death in our place, like we condition ourselves that we need to cry, we have to cry. So the same thing happened with you, like when your father had died, like I should cry, but the wisdom part in you is saying this: celebrate it, accept it. So you're like, as a human, you're experiencing the emotions, and as a spiritual person, again, you're celebrating the life, celebrating the death of your father. And you're both sisters, very brave, very courageous, like celebrating your dad's death. Even when you shared about the pujari, so just following the ritual for his namesake, and but just enjoying so much to learn from you. And being your father's guru in the past lifetime, and your dad living in your hands, is just amazing experience, like wonderful. Thank you so much. And one more thing is, like, I want to share that experience. I haven't actually met Shastri sir. I just have only seen him on the Dhyana Mahachakram stages. So when my sister marriage got fixed, so my sister got married to Amulya's cousin, Yeshwant. So at that time, Shastri sir messaged me. First time he messaged me in the Facebook chat. I used to call to him whenever I want to speak to Patriji and all, but he personally messaged saying that Amulu, he called me Amulu. Amulu, when are you coming to India? I will come to airport to pick up you. So kind of your dad. Yeah, thank you so much, Amulya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sharbaya.
Hello, thank you so much. So grateful to you, Master Amulya. So because whenever we call, you will be ready to share your wisdom. So whatever the time, but you accept readily. Thank you so much. And about listening, I would like to share my experience, the power of listening to the wisdom. And when we share the wisdom to others, I was very new to meditation then, and where a Beam platform, Germany, Masters Madhu Garu and Ram sir were conducting enlightenment or no death sessions, taking the wisdom from different authors, different books. I was very new, and I missed so many sessions before. So later I got to know, and I used to listen the recordings. So what the masters has shared in the book, and also the experiences of many participants used to take part in that session. So I don't know what the death and what the wisdom is, and completely I don't know about Patri sir, but I used to listen to the wisdom. So after a few days, I got to know in meditation that I got to know my grandmother, my mom's mother, she is going to leave her body, and that's also a COVID time. She has lived happily near 90 years of age, and she is going to live naturally. She is not having any symptoms of any COVID. So my mother is far away. She's in different places, different states, I say. So they are about the conditions, like we should not cross the state, and so I thought, okay, in a couple of months she is going to live. So in those 2 months, whatever I heard the wisdom on Beam platform, whatever I heard wisdom from these masters, so I used to share with my mom. So that was the first time I started to talk about death, because in families, when we raise a word, when we talk about that, they won't allow us. But slowly, I started with simple example, with simple wisdom. So she used to listen. So the time has come. My grandmother, she vacated her body, and my mother, she can't go there. And me and my brother, we stay here in UK. So we were not there at my mother's place to help her, to console her. But yeah, my father being there. So it's like, no, I let her. I used to talk her, but I let her to express her emotions. So till 3-4 days, she was little depressed. She was upset. But slowly, after 1 week, I again started to repeat this wisdom. See, I told you 2 months back about these experiences. So again, I started, and within 1 week, she's out from that emotion. She's completely out, and she accepted. And what this is the power of wisdom there. Then I experienced, this is how we have to listen. This is the no, what you shared. We have to listen to all these experiences. It really helps us and helps many. Thank you so much, Amulya. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharda ma'am. Hi, Chiki sir.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming to this platform. I'm just catching up you in YouTube, and I'm unable to stop myself to come out here in Zoom again to talk to you. And I'm surprised to see Ramesh, Germany, and then Vindhya madam from Dallas, all are here. Really, it's very good to see all of them. And coming to your, delivery today, really, it's exceptional. And giving details about your father. And I'm so fortunate to meet him just 10 days before his demise. You remember that on the day I met him in the bedroom, and he's so still and calm. And for my eyes, he's like Lord Shiva. He's sitting in meditation very peacefully. Okay. And I didn't even expect it, of course, but within 10 days, he, completed his journey over here. And the way the whole family members took this incident, and how enlightened way you all, whatever the truth you learned, that clearly you depicted those days, that I can understand very clearly. And the meditations we did during that time as a support, all those things still there in my mind. And so understanding the death from the human perspective is very, very important. So that is where the real death begins. So in those areas, really, you have given very good points practically to implement. And rather than the speech, definitely you guys are very good at any topic, I can say. But the service you are doing for the humankind in the form of PMC Hindi, really, really fantastic. And the responsibility you hold on your shoulders is not a small thing. Running such a big media company with two sisters with the help of your mother, and really terrible, because see, every state language has its own meditation channel, but it's only for single state, a single language. But here is the 13 states put together is PMC Hindi, and across the globe also we can have a lot of PMC in the people. So through that, a lot of people are day by day turning into meditation and vegetarianism. Patrice is the one and only desire in the last days is to develop the PMC, and you took the whole half of the India was owned by you through the channel. And then whenever I come to India, so that's why that is the only boon I can give. That's why I'm trying to visit PMC channel, and within one day, I'll understand how greatly day and night you are all working for the universe. Yeah, thank you very much. And my request today, um a beautiful music meditation you can take, all of us. Still, we have a lot of time. So people are taking classes until 10:30. So don't doubt. 5 to 7 minutes of music meditation at the end with your own voice is really wonderful. That is my simple request. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, GK sir. You were witnessed actually before 10 days. I remember I like, sir, please come to Delhi, and we recorded a lot of concepts in Delhi, no? And yeah, thank you, sir. And also you spoke that day because everyone was quite shocked. And I was like, is this happening? Everyone's shocked. Like Shreyan says, shocked. Ramana, is this happening? Have you attended the wrong Zoom meeting? Because everyone is into Zoom, right? Everyone's attending Zoom classes. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're an inspiration.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
BBC office. Next to BBC office, we'll have PMC.
Yeah, in Manchester, we are going to have that. That is a long desire to have PMC office near BBC Media City. Yeah.
Yes, that's meant to happen.
With everyone's support, definitely will happen.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Ram Garu.
Yes, Amulya Garu. Wonderful, wonderful talk. It's always inspiring to listen to you. Such an energy, it's a bit late for you. It's already 2:30 or so, and still you are there with full zest, love to share. So thanks a lot for that, for all that intentions you keep on, living every moment. So hats off to that. And I was one such fortunate person to meet Shastri ji, and such a great human being, great master, great person. So, in your sharing, it's so beautiful, close to reality without any makeups. And, when we are in the path, we realize the drama faster, and that helps. And we realize, as you said, all these belief systems through which we operate. And thanks to these sharings, meditation, and whatever that comes through, it makes our path easier to realize these facets, the dramas that happen. And we realize how much we waste our time, effort, energies in these things. It's crazy. I'm just returning from India a couple of weeks ago, witnessing closely a death of a family member. And I have seen all these stupid things that happen around death. And the beautiful occasion when you said in Shastriji's departure as well, when you allow the person, things happen. Stay if you wish, or leave if you wish. Such a great freedom. That's what we have to do in all the relationships. The utmost freedom, even at the time of departure from the body. And it was the same thing I have witnessed in the passing over of the family member I was talking about. Just the time when we give that freedom, that happens. It's just that. So, and apart from the concept of no death, I would like to as well, repeat again, Shastri ji and the whole family, your examples of how to live, how to work and serve. And in this case, we generally say how to see death, but how to live death, because there is no death. So very beautiful. And we generally, GK sir was also beautifully saying how you three, Shastri ma'am, you, Alekia, are doing great service. So we always heard about Trimurtis, you are Trimurtinis, doing great service. So thanks a lot, always so very inspirational. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhuram. So there's a question in the comment. Reena ji. So when I shared about Paramahansa Yogananda, basically in the book, Yogi Kathamrit, or Paramahansa Yogananda's book, autobiography, basically there's a portion where when he comes back into the body after vacating, I think the guru essentially comes back into the body, if I remember correctly. So when my dad was essentially had vacated, there was this point when a master was like, there's a possibility that, he could come back. And then we were reading a statement from that book. And I remember I was feeling so silly. What is the reason to do this? And I'm witnessing this while it's happening. Be like, 1 second, this guy has left his body and we're reading a book of Yogananda, trying to evoke. I'm just like, okay, let's respect the master, but I don't think this makes any sense. So yes, Reena ma'am, that was what I was trying to share, that even after the death happened, there was a drama which we were witnessing. And it's like, really, you want to bring some spirituality here. The real spirituality is accepting it, not expecting that he's going to come back into the body. Yeah, but that was the other one unique experience we had by a meditator. So yes, each one has their freedom. So we can't force. Everyone has a right to share. So yeah.
Thank you.
So I think, is there any question?
Yeah,
Vindhya.
Vindhya, yes. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Amulya ma'am. I was, as you kept encountering, I had joined that session that time when Patri sir had that enlightenment hour, and it was one of the first experiences after I came into meditation about death being celebrated that way. I was in awe. I remember you singing that Nanati Brataku, and like tears were flowing from your eyes, but still I could see that, the body was doing what it had to, but you were not in pain. Like I could see that experience was unique. And I still, every death comes now when we talk in spirituality, I think of your family. I heard your mom share, I think in Pavni Ji's platform too. So when you shared your perspective, it was different. And you kept pointing out that, don't get into this spiritual thing saying, I don't feel it, accept what you feel, and then still the wisdom will come to you. So thank you for sharing that wisdom. And I think death, when they talk about death, your family comes first to me. And I have learned a lot to accept death and to celebrate. And what you said to your father, in the end, leave if you have to or stay. I think that's a profound statement of wisdom. And for us too, if we are in that state, to help others, it's very useful. My mother-in-law had passed away and I was right next to her. And that spark you mentioned, I had actually seen a spark come out of her and go to a Sai Baba statue next to her. And you rightly mentioned, we have to, how we interpret is important, because what you interpreted, the spark coming in instead of going out. But I think it takes a lot of wisdom and practice to interpret what the messages we get. So I'm very happy to attend this. Thank you. Thank you for all your wisdom.
Thank you, Vindhya ma'am. Are you also based out of UK?
I'm in Dallas, USA. I work with GK sir, spiritual tablets. I took a break now, but
Oh, wonderful. Nice to hear you, Vindhya ma'am. So, sir,
Thank you. Your PMC channel is definitely so much of wisdom being shared through PMC Hindi channel. Yeah, I remember Ranjan sir sharing a lot too. So thank you.
Thank you, Vindhya ma'am. Dr. GK is always ready to give work to other people. So he's saying, sing a song.
Yes, I'm waiting for you to sing.
Sir is like, delegate. Thank you. Okay, sir, I'll sing a song. Okay, so that for a lot of people who don't understand Telugu, what I'm about to sing is basically Natakamu means Natak. Nanati Bratuku Natakamu, which is essentially there is no death, and whatever we see is a drama. Birth is a drama, death is a drama. Yeah, we essentially live. There are only four stages of life, and that's it, and that's the essence of Nanati Bratuku. So let's sit for 2-minute meditation, 5 minutes meditation, with the songs. And you can clasp your hands, cross your feet, close your eyes. Just be with your natural breath. నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము కానక కన్నది కైవల్యము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము నా కానక కన్నది కైవల్యము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము నాటకము పుట్టుటయు నిజము పోవుటయు నిజము పుట్టుటయు నిజము పోవుటయు నిజము నటనడి మీ పని నాటకము పుట్టుటయు నిజము పోవుటయు నిజము నటనడి మీ పని నాటకము ఎట్టనెతుట గలది ప్రపంచము ఎట్టనెతుట గలది ప్రపంచము కట్టగడపటిది కైవల్యము కట్టగడబటిది కైవల్యము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము కానక కన్నది కైవల్యము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము నాటకము తెగదు పాపము తెగదు పాపము తీరదు పుణ్యము తెగదు పాపము తీరదు పుణ్యము నగి నగి కాలము నాటకము తెగదు పాపము తీరదు పుణ్యము నగి నగి కాలము నాటకము ఎగువన శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరుడేలిగా ఎగువన శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరుడేలిగా ఎగువన శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరుడేలిగా గగనము మీదితి కైవల్యము గగనము మీదితి కైవల్యము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము కానక కన్నది కైవల్యము నాటి బ్రతుకు నాటకము 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 होशियार रहना हरे नगर में चोर आवेगा जागृत रहना हरे नगर में चोर आवेगा होशियार रहना हरे नगर में चोर आवेगा जागृत रहना हरे नगर में चोर आवेगा क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना पवन चले उड़ जाना रे पगला पवन चले उड़ जाना रे पगले समय चूक पछताना होए समय चूक पछताना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना चार जना मिल गढ़ी बनाए चढ़ा काठ की डोली चारों तरफ से आग लगाते हो चारों तरफ से आग लगा दी फूक दैर जैसे हो रही है फूक दैर जैसे हो रही क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना हाड़ जले रसे बन की लकड़िया केस जले जैसे खासा हाड़ जले रसे बन की लकड़िया केस जले जैसे खासा कंचन जैसे काया जल गई हो कंचन जैसे काया जल गई कोई ना आए पासा ओ कोई ना आए पासा क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना तीन दिना तेरी तिरिया रोए तेरा दिना तेरा भाई जन्म जन्म तेरी माता रोए हो जन्म जन्म तेरी माता रोए करके आस पर आई है करके आस पर आई क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना क्या तन माझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना. Why are you scrubbing your body when it's going to return to dust someday? For a few days, your family will mourn, but your mother, because she's the highly attached, so she will cry. But what are you crying about? That's what Kabir is trying to say, that you put fire around it, it evaporates, but it burns down. But when are you ready to accept that it's burnt and not go back and try to remember? So yes, Kabir and Annamacharya through these songs are sharing the deeper truth that there is no death. Why are you scrubbing your body and trying to focus on the outer covering, which is the body, but focus on the inner, that's the soul. And this is a drama. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Amulya.
inviting.
Thank you, Amulya.
Not inviting,
Really,
we're essentially doing the same work. We're just in different countries, that's all.
Amulya, really, it's a great singing. Even I can recollect on that day, the session, the way you sing, and you see that energy in you. And though language is a bit concerned here, but that energy and the meaning is really conveyed in the meditation. So good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Divya.
Thank
Divya from Dallas. She's waiting to talk to you.
Hi, Amulya. This is Divya.
Hi.
Wonderful, wonderful session, Amulya. So I am always inspired by your family and the work you do. So kudos to the work you do and the inspiration, the knowledge, how you imbibe and implement in your life is an inspiration for all of us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming again and sharing your wisdom on us.
There are no thank yous. We're just doing the same work in different states, countries. That's all. We're just,
Yes.
when you have an experience, you have to share. That's all. When there are only 2 words in your head, this is experience and this is sharing. So if you have, there's nothing to share if you don't have an experience. So when you have an experience, you have to share that experience. That's all. That's we understand only
Yes.
input and output language. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
so true.
Such
Thank
great
you so much.
meditators. Thank you, Divya ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, friends. Yeah. Thank you. Such a beautiful session, and concluding with a beautiful Sant Kabir ki Dohe and Namacharya Kirtana. Thank you once again, Amulya. It's a way of showing our gratitude, saying thank you. But yeah, and a lot of everybody is reminding about Shastri ji. Is loving person. Always used to call any programs happening, DMS Digital Meditation Summit. He given a lot of suggestions, to which speakers to invite and so many things. And after our sharing on the PMC in the platform, he called, "Hey Ravi Baba, so nice you shared on PMC. Indeed, came very nice, and you have to come to Delhi once." He invited just before a couple of months, and I went to Kotal. I was there, and while this is happening, I was going through this COVID there in Kotala. So yeah, I was listening. I was having COVID then. I was listening to the sharing that is happening on the Zoom Enlightenment Hour. thank you for all the work, all the inspiration. It's like a mutual inspiration. But yes, definitely you have inspired. As you see, many people coming here sharing. The new people also, for them, it's a first experience having such a session on the Zoom. The enlightenment hour, amazing. Thank you once again. Yeah, thank you, friends. Is there anybody else? Yeah, happy that I listened. Sant Kabir. Yeah, amazing. Thank you, GK sir, for asking, requesting Amulya ji to
Yes,
sing.
sir. No, there's no request, sir. GK sir always knows how to give work. He'll identify the right person and give the work and get the work done, and he'll leave the meeting also. That's all.
Very well experienced here. Many people are experienced people are amazing. Great. Thank you. Yeah. So friends, let us meet again tomorrow with one other master's wisdom sharing. And I'm sure many of you are here new and you are looking forward for another session. Every day you are eagerly waiting for the session for 9 p.m. to happen and then to participate in these sessions. Thank you, and let us meet again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amulya ji, once again.